Warner Bros. Continues its hot streak with its 7th 40 million plus opener at the box office, a shattering new record. Thanks for tuning in for this week's box office winners. Before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss what movies are killing it at the box office. Now let's truly see how big The Conjuring 4 opened. The Conjuring Last Rites possessed theaters both domestically and worldwide. Domestically, it opened to $83 million, making it the 4th biggest horror opening ever, only behind It Chapter 1, It Chapter 2, and Beetlejuice. Worldwide, the film opened to $187 million, which makes it the 2nd biggest worldwide horror opening ever, only behind It Chapter 1's $189 million debut. And if actuals come in higher on Monday, it could actually overtake It and claim to be the biggest horror opening of all time. This debut also makes it the biggest horror debut for the year, surpassing Final Destination Bloodlines' $51.6 million debut. And it's also the biggest opening in the Conjuring franchise, beating The Nun's $53.8 million. And lastly, with just a $55 million budget, the film has not only broken even in weekend 1, but it's also turned a profit. Now let's talk demos. The film scored a B cinema score, which is on par with Annabelle and Annabelle Creations cinema scores. However, it's the lowest among the 4 Conjuring films, as the first 2 Conjuring films scored an A-, and the third scored a B+. The question now is, will word of mouth hold, or will this film drop hard in weekend 2? Audience breakdown was nearly an even split, with 51% female and 49% male, while Hispanic and Latino audiences led turnout at 44%, followed by Caucasian at 28%, African American at 14%, and Asian American at 8%. Premium formats were also huge for this film, as 40% of the opening came from premium formats like IMAX. Now let's take a look at the rest of the top 10. At number 2 was Disney's Hamilton, which finally released in theaters after debuting on Disney Plus in 2020 due to the pandemic. The film earned $10 million from just 1,800 theaters, and even though it has a 1-week limited run, if audiences keep showing up, expect the film to play longer. At number 3 was Warner Bros.' other horror movie, Weapons. Now, side note, The Conjuring 4's opening weekend also means that Warner Bros. Now has the 4 biggest horror openings for the year, which is just unheard of. Anyways, Weapons added another $5.3 million, dropping 49%. It now sits at $251 million worldwide, and there's still a slight chance that it can make it to $300 million, just like Final Destination Bloodlines finally did. At number 4, Freakier Friday kept its strong run, making another $3.8 million in its 5th weekend, and dropping only 44%. Domestically, it's at $87 million, and worldwide, it's at $142 million. At number 5 was Caught Stealing, which dropped a harsh 59% in weekend 2, making just $3.2 million. With a $40 million budget, the film has now made $24 million worldwide, which isn't great. At number 6, The Roses made another $2.8 million, dropping 55% in weekend 2. It is stronger overseas, so worldwide it's made $32 million total. At number 7, The Fantastic Four First Steps was still holding strong, making another $2.7 million in its 7th weekend. It's now made $270 million domestically and $511 million worldwide. At number 8, The Bad Guys 2 added another $2.45 million, down just 48% from last weekend. It now sits at $77 million domestic and $183 million worldwide, and on track to hit that $200 million worldwide mark. At number 9, newcomer Light of the Worlds debuted with $2.4 million, which is a decent debut from a new distributor, Salvation Poem. And rounding out the top 10, Superman made another $1 million, but dropped a harsh 61%, likely due to the arrival of many new films. And that brings its total to $353 million domestic and $614 million worldwide. And that wraps up this weekend's box office. The Conjuring Last Rites has officially shaken up some box office records with one of the biggest horror debuts ever. Let me know in the comments if you saw The Conjuring 4 in theaters this weekend, and make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss next weekend's episode, where we'll see the arrival of Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. And as always, keep watching.